Right from the start, there's no such thing as a black Marine or a white Marine or a brown Marine. There are different shades of green.
I think that it should be made very clear that we're not comparing homosexuality to race, okay? What we are doing is we're drawing a comparison between the arguments that were used to exclude blacks from the military and that are currently being used to exclude gays and lesbians from the military. They said back then that white soldiers would not be able to serve with, take showers with, spend extended periods of time in close quarters or confined areas with black soldiers because it would cause morale problems. I think that over time that's been proven false. They're using the same arguments today.
I was a part one of 16 men out of 160,000 blacks in the Navy who had been chosen to be the first black officer candidate class in the history of the Navy. I think that the military has learned something and has grown tremendously since our time in the service. Gays in the military is one of the changes whose time has come. We've proved that we can do it by virtue of the experience that we've had with blacks in the service. We've proved that we can do it by the virtue of the experience we've had with women in the service, with Hispanics in the service. We can certainly do it with gays in the service.
I think allegations that straight soldiers are going to want to leave the military or are going to have difficulty serving alongside who they know as a gay soldier is kind of funny, considering that these people have signed up to basically put their bodies in front of bullets, and if they're not afraid of bullets, then why should they be afraid of serving alongside a gay soldier?
I worked in recruiting, and I worked during a time that the military was going all volunteer. There was all this brouhaha that if you end the draft, you won't be able to get enough folks to go in. People go in. They go in for a number of reasons. For patriotism, they go in because the job market's bad. They go in because that's the only place that they can go with the skills that they have. They're not going to care if they have to work beside anybody as long as the paycheck is coming in.
The first lesbian and gay police officer entered the San Francisco Police Department about 14 years ago. And at that time it was met with much resistance.
Well, I think there was probably, I don't know if they were really truly fears, but just sort of, you know, we all have, you know, in police work, and over the years you have a macho image, and now you're thinking, what's this image going to be like? You know, is some gay guy going to come to work in a dress now, or what's going to happen? And then you find out that that's not what it's all about.
When we think about what the military is going through right now, it's much similar to what we went through 15 years ago. And I think there's a lesson to be learned from what law enforcement has gone through to what military is going to go through. I think what training does is it attacks stereotypes. And a lot of times what people see when they think of lesbians and gay people, they have real strong stereotypes in their mind about how that person is or how that group of people and we as a community are. And I think by having an aggressive training program, you're able to break down a lot of these stereotypes.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's been real trouble-free. I mean, I'm sure in the beginning there were some problems that occurred, but the gay and lesbian officers that we have proven themselves to be some of our finest officers, and they've been accepted and have integrated well with the officers in the San Francisco Police Department.
In any situation that I ever found myself in Vietnam especially, no one's sexuality was an issue. The only thing that ever mattered was performance. Could you do what had to be done under fire? As much as you were afraid that you might die in war, the one thing I was never afraid of is that I was ever going to be abandoned by anybody in that unit. And everybody knew that I would not abandon them either, no matter what.
It was a very powerful trust. And I think one never really thought of whether somebody was gay or straight. Even if they knew it, it made no difference.
I was the youngest department head aboard my submarine, and my commanding officer did have a great deal of trust in me. And because of that, he selected me to be one of the team members on the sealed authentication team. And these are the officers that actually go into the safe and take out the decoding devices and decode messages from the president for release of nuclear missiles.
You're going to have a breakdown in unit cohesion anytime you ask somebody to lie to their coworker. However, when I did tell my coworkers that I was gay, long before I came out publicly, it enhanced their respect for me. It enhanced our ability to communicate, and mutual trust. And trust is a mutual thing. If you don't trust somebody, then that person is not going to trust you back. That's what it's all about.
We were in a bunker at the time, and the bomb was, bombs were all about us. And some of the fellows that were with me got shot, and I had to get medical attention for them to help them out, to try to save their lives. And some of the buddies in the bunker with me got hit, and when it calmed down a little bit, I got them out of the bunker and got them to medics to get attention. You don't panic, because you know if you panic, it's going to make matters even worse. I'm sure that I helped save several lives. I maybe putting my own life in jeopardy, but that didn't really matter at the time, because they were my buddies, and I felt they'd do the same for me. And it certainly didn't matter whether they're straight or gay. I don't even know some of them if they're straight or gay.
It was the job for the medic that if someone was killed and you were not able to get the body evacuated before dark, there was no helicopter movement at night because of the danger. So what would happen is that the medic was responsible for guarding and staying with any of the guys who were killed. So men who were killed in my unit, I would have to stay and in essence guard and sleep with the bodies until the next morning when we could get them evacuated out.
The main thing I remember about it all is how close I became with the people I worked with in my unit. It was like sort of like a bonding, how much we relied on each other for certain things, and it was just, everyone got real tight. That's the main thing I remember is how close we got with the people I was over there with.
The great irony of this is we have no case where a gay person under fire cut and ran.
I met Lloyd Darling when I was assigned to the 101st Airborne Division down in the Delta in Vietnam. I found out that he was gay. Well, he told me he was gay about the 5th day that I was there. Lloyd was respected because, for one, he was a loyal person, and because of the closeness of our unit, we worked well together. We were very compatible, and we protected each other. It's 2 in the morning, it's dark, totally dark. I realized what I was seeing. It was totally unbelievable. It was like a mass of people. It was like no space in between them. I have never ever seen that in my life. And I said to myself, holy God. I was looking at Lloyd, he looked at me. At that point, I got hit again and knocked to the ground. I remember saying, come on, are you coming? Are you coming? And he just looked at me, like, I'm not seeing you again. I'm not going to see you again. He decided to stay and keep on firing until he couldn't fire anymore or got killed. What he did was that he gave us, I would guess, 5 minutes maybe. That was the amount of time it took us to crawl back to that rice paddy and play dead. Lloyd saved our lives. He died for us. This is what Lloyd did. He's responsible for us living now and returning home.